All right. So here we are. We are live, and I'm doing my actual same thing that I haven't been able to figure out yet, but we'll go there.
Hey,
Um,
everybody. Welcome to Seeing is Believing with the Spexy Sisters, while Kija takes the time to figure out what's going on with her Facebook connection. Is it public? Is it private? We'll find out.
right. So that's where we are. And I don't even see myself live, but that's okay. We're getting there.
You know what I
So,
should also say is that if it seems like I have a lot more energy tonight than I usually would have, it's because I had the day off my 9 to 5 job today. I had the day off. So I'm well rested. I'm rejuvenated. I'm revitalized. I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I knew that I would.
knew that I would.
Da-na-na-na-na.
We're
Feel
public.
good.
Yay.
Feel good. I've got all of you.
Ah, life is good. Life is
Good.
good. So, how have you been?
I've been pretty good. Pretty good since last week. Like I said, I had a little bit of time off. I did a little bit of traveling. It was a good time.
Where did you go? Because I did a bit of traveling myself.
Yes, as you typically would. But for me, these experiences are rare. Like they're rarer than rare. So this weekend, I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. for the Sankofa Rites of Passage Conference. And sorry, the logo, the corner of the logo is like sticking me in my head and it's a little bit sharp. So I had to move. Ouch, ouch. So yeah, I went to Washington, D.C. for the Sankofa Rites of Passage Conference. Big up to the Sankofa Rites of Passage Conference. It was life affirming. And we also got to go to the African American Museum where this time you can't do it in a day. So the last time
Oh,
I think
never.
I'd done the bottom floors. This time we went straight to the music and the hip hop floor and stayed there for about an hour and a half before rushing downstairs to catch the Afrofuturism exhibit. Gotta go there. Amazing. It was all around, it was a great time.
Love it. I was actually in DC this year as well, so got to go to the museum. It is, in an age where there's all this conversation about rolling back and erasing history, it is one of the places that reminds us of how much we've contributed to everything, to everything.
Everything.
And so this, what we see happening around us isn't really about truth telling. It's about suppression. And so, yeah, it's so important. If you have an opportunity, you're a parent. I'm an educator to my core. So, I'm always an advocate for pulling your kids out of school to do things like that. Always.
Yes.
Like, make
Always.
sure, like, it's like if you have a choice, like, oh, I don't know, should I go to DC to the African American Museum, or should they have a day at school? Go to the museum.
Go to
Always.
the museum.
Go to your local museum. There's an African American museum right here in Detroit. If you're in Detroit, I know we have people from all over, but visit, take it in, sit with the truth of our history, because it's a beautiful history. It is not just one dimensional. So I'm so glad. What did your kids think about that experience?
Well, they didn't. I only had 50% of them with me. And so the 50% of them were there with all of the other kids who traveled down for the Rites of Passage conference. And it was really great just to let them go free and to see the things that they wanted to see and to take in the things that they wanted to take in, which is, it's a unique experience when you can allow your children that space, because usually if they were small and they were with me at the same time, I would be showing them the things we see through my lens, like, oh, I was here when this happened, look at this, look at that, and I'd be telling them about it. But because they were on their own, they were just seeing and coming to their own conclusions. Me and my husband were looking at other things separately, reminiscing, enjoying, seeing. I think one of my biggest takeaways from that was when we were looking at um, Noni Hendrix from the
Oh,
Labels. We were looking at her outfits from when she was with the Labels and when she went solo, but looking at it through the lens of Afrofuturism, and just seeing how long this has been a movement before we even had a word for it. And I could say to the kids, when we kind of reconvene, sometimes we cross each other's path. And I was like, hey, guess what? You know, Kija and I met her. We had our picture taken with her. We saw her perform at Black Women Rock. And in fact, we saw Jessica Care Moore's video playing
Oh, wasn't that,
in the museum.
that gave me goosebumps seeing
I know
Jessica
her.
Moore. Yeah,
Well,
just to hear her voice.
African history, Black history is not just history, but we're making history all around us right now. So that was really exciting. And the whole concept of Afrofuturism was right on time, just thinking about like space and African Bambara and the Parliament Funkadelics and their
Earth, Wind, and
mothership.
Fire, even.
Yeah, Earth,
Wind
Wind,
and
and Fire
Fire.
and the mothership concept. And I thought, it's interesting that Afrofuturism was really born out of a desire for us to be free of the shackles of racism, oppression, and enslavement of the mind, and just the idea that we could be free and create something for ourselves somewhere else where we can be away from it all. But the idea that even just something that we created in our own imagination would make colonizers and oppressors so angry, angry that we would even imagine being somewhere free from all that.
Right.
That I thought that was like my biggest
To me,
takeaway. Like, you're
it's
mad at
funny
our
just because,
imagination?
yeah, it's that's an imagination, and we have caught up like so many times. Like for me, I see the ways that if you live long enough, you realize that we are catching up to our own imagination sometimes, and we create more Afrofuturism. So somebody like Jimi Hendrix, in terms of music, and I mean, he was in that, and how he played the guitar. People had never heard that before. They were used to this way of being, but he was creating a future that Prince could step into. And every time we create a future, we create a building block for somebody to step on. And I love that. One of the ways that I love, if I have an opportunity to even talk to a young person, if they pay attention to me, I always ask, like, imagine, what can you tell me what it looks like, or what can you imagine this or that, like, instead of saying, well, what do you want to be, because it's more than that. It's about the power of our imagination. And sometimes we don't have a shift in our thinking because we don't have we lose that ability to sit back and just dream and imagine and let our minds wander. That's so
Yeah,
important.
that was the beauty of it too, I think, is just being able to immerse ourselves in everything that we have created, everything that we have done, everything that we have imagined. And it really makes you see that we have an abundance of talents. We have tried on, created, built up, and cast away so many things that I said to the children, I said, it's like you can see that some people, some cultures take and other cultures create. So we create things for other people to take. But even if they take them, we don't have to be in a mindset where we're fighting, like, don't do our dances, don't take our language, don't do, we can't be caught up in the limitations of what we see now, because I'm like, yo, when you see all this, sure, take our music, take jazz, take country, take rock and roll, take everything that we've created, and we're just going to go on and create the next best thing that people are always running behind us to try to keep up with it, or to position themselves as experts on the things that we've created. We have too much abundance.
We
We
have we
don't
have so
fight.
much abundance. And don't be mad when we come back and get our shit either.
Yeah,
Like, don't be mad when we come back and get our shit, because that, to me, like, I know it's very hot right now, but I've listened to Cowboy Carter a few times, and I love it for the very reasons that we're talking about. I love that Linda Martell is on that album, who was one of the first originators of country music, and she's 82 now, and she's
yeah,
getting her flowers, and that's somebody like with a platform. Like, I mean, I'm neither here nor there when it comes to Beyonce. Like I'm not like a fan because I'm not like I don't have a fan personality, but I can appreciate the importance of having a platform, using that platform to make sure that those people who are coming behind you, like young country artists, that you put them on the ticket. And people who have gone before, Willie Nelson is on that album, and Dolly Parton is on that album, and Linda Martell is on that album. I think when we talk about futures, we stand solidly in a place where we can reach forward, reach back, and pull it together. And that is the power of being a black
Man,
person.
that's another reason. That's another reason why people need to go to the museum. Go to that museum, go to the one in Detroit, go to the one in Chicago, anywhere you can go, because you're going to learn something. While we're out here on these social media streets fighting about whether or not Beyonce has the right to make a country album, you could be walking through the museum looking at all of the country artists that came before. You know, like I'm standing in front of Charlie Pride,
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at everything that he has done. And funny enough, you know, Neo is touring. Neo's coming to Toronto. I'm like,
Really?
hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. So one of my friends was saying, "Oh, you know, I don't know if we how much Neo I listened to. What are your favorite Neo songs?" And we were going back and forth. And I said, "Didn't he do that song with Beyonce?" But then I remembered, no, it wasn't that a song he did with Beyonce. It was that he wrote
to the left, to the left.
to the left, right? Irreplaceable. He wrote that. So in researching for my friend, like, oh yes, he wrote this, I discovered that that song Irreplaceable was first created to be a country song. It was
Hmm.
supposed to be country, but they redid it as R&B because of course they weren't ready for Beyonce to do country, even though it has the underlying country kind of vibe. Man, I thought I wish she would redo Irreplaceable in the way that it was originally envisioned as a country and western
Well, you
song.
might just get your wish because I'm telling you, people are jumping on the bandwagon. And I think, yeah, it's fear that makes people so threatened by our fabulousness, right? It's just
Yeah.
fear. And so, yeah. So that's amazing. So I'll tell you where I went. I
Where'd you
just got back. I just literally got back here, put my frozen food in the freezer because I don't want any smoke tonight, which is like I don't want anybody talking about like why is the ice cream melted all over the floor? I don't want to hear it.
go? No, I guess not.
Before I came on the air, here on the air, I decided to put all that stuff away. But we went to Lucas County, Ohio, and like a little known Black history fact is that we got married in Lucas County, Ohio.
We did? Why did I not remember that? Did we?
Yeah, well, not you and I, but me and
Oh,
him. We got
yes.
married in Lucas County, Ohio, 26 and a half years ago. And the campground that we stayed at is in that same county where the courthouse was. And so that's always nice. And it's one of our favorite campgrounds. But the reason for our visit was to be able to view the total solar eclipse in like a total solar eclipse. Now, the solar eclipse was coming through Michigan, and it did, and it came through parts of Ontario. It came through a large swath of North America,
Mm.
but there were only certain paths that would have it give that total view. And I'm telling
Clarity,
you,
absolute clarity of the view.
well, actually, that's different. So if it's 99%, you still have a little bit of the lip, the outer edge that you see, and it's like the sun. When you had total, your glasses that were used to block the light, you couldn't see anymore. You had to take them off and look directly at it.
Yes,
That's
I saw
total.
people doing that on TV.
Yeah, that's total. So if you weren't in an area where there was total, you could not do that. And when we took it off, it was just amazing to just see that. And I think what was really powerful was, we have the capacity all to experience this thing. And, I'm always using the word capitalism, but capitalism can't stop that. Like, it's not an experience that's just for some. If you're in that area, you get to experience it. You get to get your little paper glasses from the public library, put them on, and watch that event. And it was nice. It was nice to be there to see that.
I thought it was funny that you mentioned capitalism because I remember thinking at the time that out of all of the eclipses, partial and total, that I have experienced in my many decades on this earth, this was by far the most commodified.
Oh, it was.
I'm like, how are they even going to try to sell you something that they did not create and they cannot control, and yet still they're going to try to make money off of it? I mean, the amount of solar eclipse sales
Oh
that,
yeah. There are people who had T-shirts and they had all sorts of things going on there.
yeah,
And I thought, okay, yeah, I see you. You know, you're out here doing your thing.
yeah,
But yeah, it was commodified, but I still think that there's this moment of it's beyond our control.
yeah,
Like they the powers that be have not figured out how to make that. Now, could they do that in a theme park to give you the same effect? Because I'm not a fan of constructed reality, is what I call it. So I don't like places like Great Wolf Lodge. I feel like if I'm going to go to a lodge, I want to go to a lodge. And I'm sure they could, like in a what do you call it, a planetarium, you can recreate that. But to see it happen in a natural way, and to know that our ancestors actually had the capacity to chart that, and to, I learned yesterday, which I did not know this, but Nat Turner, who was one of my personal heroes, he was motivated by viewing a total solar eclipse, and that's,
I
he
mean,
said
that.
he got the word from, the higher power to make his move in the liberation of his people. And I was like, what? Come
Yep,
through Nat Turner. What?
inspiration is all around us.
All around us. And and here's the realness about that. He did, he got delayed, and he put it off. But then he saw another solar event, which was like a green star going in the sky. And he was like, oh, forgot that. I forgot I saw that solar eclipse, but now I got this other reminder. Better get back to business.
Gotta
And
get to
he
it. Yeah, get to it.
Yeah, and he did. And so knowing that, learning that, yeah, I'd never knew that. Again, it was, like, not that I'm not planning my own personal rebellion, but it's just nice to
Why
acknowledge
not?
that.
Why
I know,
not?
I know. It's nice to acknowledge that our ancestors, and say their names, continue to say their names. So tonight I say the name of Nat Turner, who, inspired by what he saw in the sky as a sign for him to free his people, he did such. And
Yes, he
yeah,
did.
I'm
Shout
proud of
out to Nat Turner. When you think of the solar eclipse, think of Nat Turner. You know,
him.
I remember a long time ago when I got a job. I had a job working in a bank, administration of a bank in about the year 2000. And I remember there was a day I was celebrating Nat Turner's birthday, and I wrote on my whiteboard in my office, "Happy Nat Turner Day." And executives kept walking into my office and going, and then leaving quickly. I didn't know what the problem was. I didn't realize that we weren't all fans of Nat Turner's work. But in hindsight, I guess I should have thought, yeah, maybe there are some people who would not be as in awe of what he achieved
Right,
as.
right. I wonder if he wore glasses. I mean, and then what did people do back then when, like, I mean, did their eyes get burned? What I learned today was that around the time the eclipse was happening, a lot of people complained of eye pain. There were a lot of people who didn't know about it,
Mhm.
and they complained of eye pain around this. Like, Google searches went up saying, "My eyes hurt." That was the Google search,
My
and
eyes hurt.
my eyes hurt. Yeah. They said about 3:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they started to see like a rise in that search. That was like the number one search, because people didn't have eye protection. Some people didn't. I made it a point to make sure that my neighbors and friends on my block had eye protection, that the kids kind of knew what was happening, because that's important. But yeah, some people didn't know, or some people said that, they looked above their glasses and things like
Yeah,
that.
that
Some
light
people
was
said,
coming in from the. Yeah, and then we had those people like one person I encountered in my social media travels who said, you know what, we are letting fear run our lives. And that person refused to wear protective eyewear and said, I looked directly at it and I feel fine.
Okay.
So of course, I don't know. I'm not calling any bad on anybody because everybody has their own views. Me, I feel like it's probably not worth the risk because life is long. Um,
Right.
and but everybody just made different choices for themselves, you know. So
I hear you. And good evening, Patsy. How are you? Thanks for
hey, Patsy.
tuning in and commenting and saying hi, and hi to everyone who's tuning in tonight. So yeah, it was amazing. What I loved prior to the eclipse was that the birds started doing something special, and the we were in a nature area, so there were rabbits and things around, and I'm not going to say they were confused. I'm
I
not
don't
gonna.
like that. People
I
said
don't.
that a lot too. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
my
not gonna say
dog
that.
went crazy and he was all confused.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna say that. I think just like we were curious or we, had knowledge, we feel that in our bodies, and so I think they were responding. It was 3 minutes. Like for the total eclipse, it was 3 minutes. And as students started to move out, you had to put your glasses back on again. But in those 3 minutes, I think there's a sense of there's a phenomenon happening. So no, I don't like to assume that other creatures, because I'm a creature too, were
Yes,
confused.
you're definitely a creature. No arguments here.
Yeah, that they were confused, and it was just different. And um yeah, I was glad I got the opportunity to see that. I Big shout out, like, I mean, I have a hard time saying this 5 times fast, but big shout out to my man, my man, my man, my man, my man.
Okay.
Exactly. Because when he was saying, "Hey, there's an eclipse coming next year. We should really get to a campground so we could see it in its totality." And we were like, "Eclipse, schmiclipse, okay, let us know when that is." And then the hoopla started, and we were like, "We're gonna have to go somewhere for this eclipse." He was like, "Oh, we are already booked that." I was like, "Okay, look at you out here knowing you be knowing stuff."
You be
So
knowing.
he be knowing. So I was really happy about that. So yeah,
In my neck of the woods, we watched it on TV. Um,
okay.
they closed the schools here in Toronto so that no children would be accidentally harmed walking home from school. And to be honest, I found that I actually enjoyed even just being home with my children and reminiscing on what it was like when we were kids, you know. And I said, I remember they talked about the eclipse that happened in 1978. And I was like, yeah, I remember that day. I remember them closing the curtains at school, the big heavy gray curtains that used to be on the
Yes.
windows. Shout out to CD Farquharson, man. Oh, man. And we couldn't go out for afternoon recess, and we were all pretty annoyed by that. So we had to just sit in our classroom and listen to our teacher tell us about, you know, what was happening in the moon and stuff like that. But all I remembered was just how dusty those curtains were and how some boys were always going and trying to flip the curtains and see if and we could just snatch a glimpse of anything. And when it was all over, they sent us to walk home. And I don't know if you remember us walking home that day, Keija, but I just remember it was kind of dusty and dim outside. I didn't understand it, but I always remember it.
Oh yeah, I remember making, I don't know why I remember cardboard and a pinhole and
Yeah, try to,
like
yeah,
trying
the
to
little
look.
box.
Yeah, a little box. So maybe, yeah, there was a box and stuff like that. I mean, we're so much further ahead. We know so much more. Like Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. So hopefully, I feel like I could be one of those people that will chase it. Like I could become an eclipse chaser.
Yeah, you could.
The next one, like I made a post today where people were like, "Oh, the next one's not going to be here till 2044." But really, eclipses happen all the time. They may
Yeah,
not be total eclipses. The next full total eclipse is 2026. That happens in August of 2026. And the places that will be able to see that one are Iceland, Greenland, Russia, which I
Portugal? I heard Portugal.
Spain, and a part of Portugal. And so, um, it's out there. It won't be happening here, but that's a great opportunity to consider planning for that. So
Yeah.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
know when it's going to be in Jamaica or the Bahamas, or I know there was one last year, I think in Ethiopia. One of the eclipse chasers was talking about that. So yeah, get your
Funny
travel
you should
on.
say that. My good girlfriend, as everybody knows, Allie, she I made my little news debut. I was on the 11 o'clock news, and I sent it to her, and she said that they didn't have anything like that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but what they did have was this sense of overwhelming heat. The sun was blazing around the times that we were experiencing that. The sun was just over them, and it was still, water was still. So being able to even have that information, that they were experiencing something, not the same experience, but something that was unique to being in St. Vincent. So
Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
So that's it for the eclipse. Any are you born again now from this, like a new dawn, like a new, like, oh, I'm like saw the eclipse, and much like Nat Turner, I'm just gotta like step into the new thing, like
Hey, I don't need an eclipse to be on that Nat Turner energy. I think it just comes to me pretty naturally. Like my ancestors already implanted that energy in my spirit, so no, I wouldn't say that I'm forever changed or anything like that. Perhaps you just really had to be there. I mean, I enjoyed watching it on TV, and I like the way that we were like, now it's in Niagara, now it's in Montreal, and now it's in New Brunswick, and you got to see all of the people like reacting. I
yeah.
really enjoyed that. I mean, I think that's one. I can't say that TV is good right now for a lot of things, but it is good for that, being able to be multiple places at once and being able to see different people react to the same stimuli. I said stimuli. This is like my nerd moment of the day. But yes, that's what nerds like me care about, just a controlled group experiment. So no, I wouldn't say that I'm born again or forever changed or anything like that. But it was interesting and restful day. I feel what you mean about the sun though. When we went out after it had passed us by and had moved on to New Brunswick, or wherever it was going, I went out in the afternoon to drive somewhere, and the sun was so bright. Like it was
Yeah.
so hot and bright. And like, when you're driving towards the sun and the sun is literally oppressing your eyes, and you have to put down the thing, you have to put down the
Advisor.
sun visor in your car. It was crazy. And this was like at 5 in the afternoon, and the sun was hotter than it would be normally at 12 noon. So that was interesting.
Yeah, it was and the coldness, like, understanding, like, it was funny because one of the people we traveled with, Gary, said, I was like, imagine if they could control this, like if corporations could control this. He'd be like, he said, yeah, they might say to you, yeah, you didn't pay your sun bill this month, you get no heat, because it
Right.
got that cold. Like when the moon was in front of the sun, the temperature dropped drastically. Like I had a t-shirt on,
Sun
and it
bill.
was, yeah, it was cold. So yeah.
Right. And that just made me think of, recommended reading, because that's what we blurs do, you know. I want to encourage you to read a story that's called All Summer in a Day. I wish
All
I could
summer in
remember who wrote it, but we read it when I was in junior high school, and it was probably already old by then. It's called All Summer in a Day. And it's a story about um, people who moved to Mars. They moved to Mars because the earth was already in such bad shape. And remember, this was back in the 80s that I read this story, but the earth was in such bad shape that people had to move to Mars. But on Mars, the sun only came out once a year.
once a year. Wow.
Once a year. And it's not a book, it's a short story. Now that I think about it, it's just a short story, and it's called All Summer in a Day. But it's such a powerful story. It came out once a year for 1 hour, and the rest of the time it was dark.
Wow.
Once a year for an hour. So, what would you do with that 1 hour summer once a year?
I don't
That
know.
story affected me so much. I still remember it to this day. It was so crazy. So, if you can find that short story, All Summer in a Day, I highly recommend it.
Wow.
Hey, cuz.
That's wow. Okay. Yeah, so yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, before we get into our amazing frame picks for the night, I think we should talk about what events are coming up, because I know some people always have to check in and check out before the end of the show.
Let's do
So
that.
we can let them know what's going on coming up now, and then we can also let them know at the end of the show.
All right. So let's start with our first event. Um, we'll start with tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So, cups and glasses, what we do regularly with our frames collection is that we will come to you. Like, you can book an in-person consultation for one person. We'll come to your office, coffee shop, place of your choice. We also do group private parties, and occasionally we do a pop-up shop where you can come to us. So tomorrow, which is April the 10th, from 6 to 9 p.m., we're going to be in Scarborough at the Scarpod Studio, which is at the corner of Brimley and Shepherd, upstairs at Kumon, beside the Dollar Tree at Brimley and Eglinton. So you can get first dibs on our newest frames. We've just gotten a great
Oh yeah.
shipment of new things in. So we're just going to be there tomorrow for 3 hours. So if you're in Scarborough and you want to see what we've got, please feel free to come through and try them on, see what works for you. We always say you don't have to buy, but we certainly encourage you to try. You can come out and just try a different style that you may never have thought of. Take your pictures, post them on social media, and if you find a pair that you love, take it with you. So that's going to be tomorrow at our pop-up shop at 2642 Eglinton Avenue East, Suite 104 in Scarborough. And you can find out more and our other events at cupsandglasses.ca.
Is that me?
Yes, that is you, and a wonderful pair of orange and tortoise butterfly frames.
Oh, well, thank you. All right. And up next, we have a see and sip party that I'll be hosting at my house. Why? Because I love folks and I love having company.
And
And
your
so
house is clean.
that too. I mean, I do need to dust it off a little bit every now and then. But yes, come through, have a few beverages. Look at our curated collection. We just have a ton of new stuff that's come in. And so I'm not posting my address on this flyer. Why? Because this is a public podcast. But if you're interested and you're in the Metro Detroit area and you'd love to come by, have a little drink, a little snack, have a little chit chat, and sit down and chill. Um, this is this Sunday. Join me here at my house. Just DM me, message me at Keija Gray on Instagram or Facebook or on Openly Gray Life, and I'll make sure that I give you my address and I'll see you on Sunday.
And
So,
I would
and,
like to point something out, that the frames that you are wearing in this picture, we call those the bold nudes. And they are very wonderful frames, and we do have those in stock.
oh, absolutely. We have those in stock. They're one of my faves. One of my
They look
faves.
so good on you. They
Oh,
look so
thank
good. You
you.
know what I
Thank
love
you.
about those frames is that they are both big and bold, but at the same time, because they're nude, they don't overpower the face at all.
Absolutely. They're one of my biggest sellers. They're very popular and I think they're great frames. I just think they're great frames.
They
So
are.
yes, we will have those on hand and a lot more. We have a great curated collection just for you. So
All right.
yes. So those are our events for this week and we will run those back at the end. But for now, the moment is at hand.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So I went first last week. So this week
Did you?
you can go. I did.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with letting you know about the frames that I have on. Um, these are not for sale, but because they're on my face and I don't actually have any of these in stock because but these are one of my favorites. But the reason why I wear them is because of the glitter. So I'm going to get in close so that you can see that these are a nice square, but they're all rhinestones, very small rhinestones, black and silver rhinestones all around. So I love these because you would think that if somebody was going to wear a pair of rhinestone glasses, they would be so tacky. But in actuality, they're quite neutral. You know, they don't overpower.
No, they
They
don't.
match with other things that I wear. So you can see them. They're a nice square,
Oh, and the glitter goes all on the arms. That's nice.
little metal on the arms, very cute. And I like small stones because they're less likely to fall out. They have great texture, they're very solid, and they look very good on. So, our theme tonight, we're keeping it with the eclipse. We're thinking, solar system. I'm thinking sun, moon, stars, and sky, and the clarity of the sky. So I feel that these frames definitely fall into the stars with all of this nice glimmer of the rhinestones. So
Okay.
that's the pair that I have on. Now, my first pair that I've selected for tonight, I thought about this pair because I think about how the sky, when you look at the sky itself, there are so many tones, like there's black, but sometimes the black looks kind of purple. And then there's the silver of the stars and the shimmer of the moon. So for that, I put forward this wonderful cut out
Ooh,
cat eye, which is silver with black and purple and also a little mother of pearl to show the shimmer
um,
of the moon, and a little black on the arms, silver on the frame throughout. It's all metal with just the black, purple, and mother of pearl accents.
nice.
So that is frame number one.
Oh, that is nice. That is sharp and clean. I love the lines.
Lean. Yes.
The lines are perfect and the colors are very nice.
Thank you very
The
much. And
white
I
pop.
also I also like that it has nothing at all to do with my outfit, right? A pair of glasses like this, you should be able to wear it with anything. So you don't have to wear purple just because there's purple in the glasses, or you don't have to wear black. You can wear anything, and the glasses can definitely stand on their own.
Absolutely.
Pair number one, the
Uh,
cut out silver, purple, black, and mother of pearl cutout.
Perfect.
What say you?
All right, so I too am going to start with the pair that I'm wearing, and I do have these in stock. Now, I'm going to say when we're talking about the theme of eclipses, you know, I'm going to say this, gray gets a bad rap. Gray gets a bad rap. And I'm a gray advocate, as you know, from the
As
hair
we
down
know.
to the name, right? And so this is a matte gray pair of rounded cat eyes. They happen to, actually, I didn't plan that, but they happen to kind of coordinate with
Coordinate.
my sweatshirt, Easy Does It sweatshirt. And I love these frames because they're also a unique kind of nude. And sometimes you go outside and the sky isn't blue and it isn't bright and it is gray, and gray can be a beautiful color. It's gotten a bad rap, but it can be a beautiful color. And so these frames, love these frames. Again, I have one of these like famous photographs with this particular frame. They are a nice frame, just solid and matte, and because they're a nude, they pick up like your skin tone and your undertone. So they work for me. So this is the pair that I'm wearing, but we also have these in the collection.
You
All
know,
right.
that famous pic that you're talking about is such a great pic that I feel you should find it after the show. You should find it on your social media and pin it to your profile so that people can see it when they get there. It's one of my favorite pictures of you, like the tone on tone, gray on gray.
Gray on gray on gray.
You know, some of us have amazing gray. Some of us are striving. Some of us are working at it really hard. But until then, we'll just live vicariously through you.
Oh, thank you.
Hashtag gray goals.
Thank you. Well, I don't know what you mean about pin and do, and so you will have to walk me through that process. But for my first pair, I think I'm going to go with I went from a gray sky, and I'm going to talk about what it means to have clear vision. Now, I tend to not necessarily be a fan of the clear, but yesterday reminded me of the power of what it means to just not have your view obstructed. And so my pair for tonight is a nod, always a nod to hip hop, with the nice green arms, but a clear square. A clear square. That's what I'm going for with this look.
Nice.
Aren't those nice? So you can see they're clear. So if you were wearing your makeup, your mascara, your eyeshadow, nothing's getting lost on here, but they're still bold because the shape is bold. And then you have that touch of color on the side. And I'm going to tell you about these frames. My son has these frames in his personal collection. And so they are, when people say, "Oh, do we have frames for men?" He slays these frames. He slays these frames and they look amazing on him. But I say they look damn good on me too.
You say. Yes, they do. They do.
So this is my first pick tonight. Clear.
Lovely. Now, isn't that funny? So, for my second pair, I also have a clear pair because I was thinking the clarity of the sky when you could actually see the eclipse, which we did not have in my part of Toronto. We had like your first pair of the pair you have on now. We had the gray, cloudy sky where you couldn't really get a good look at it where I was on the east side. But my second pair is all about the clear. I have a very complicated relationship with clear. I actually, with all the pairs I have, I don't have any clear. I'm always in pursuit of a clear that still gives something bold, right? Like it can't just be there. Like I need a clear that really works. So one clear that I have under consideration that we've just added to collection is this clear,
Ooh.
right? Which just happens to match my shirt, which was also an accident because I was already dressed when I pulled this.
And it matches your undershirt too.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. So this clear is not entirely square, but it's square that tapers. It's a tapered square at the bottom, and it's a very solid clear, but with a wonderful ombre at the side from
Ooh.
yellow to green to blue to green and back again to yellow,
Nice.
right?
Vincy flag.
Hello, Vincy flag. Vincy massive stand right up because yes, that's exactly what this is all about. So the clarity of the sky and the clarity of our culture.
Oh, I love that. And the fact is that they're clear, so you can see right through the sides of them to the color on the sides. It's calling me. It's like
Right. So you can see the color at the sides even though you're looking at it from the front,
from the front.
right?
Exactly.
And I feel that this is also a really great unisex pair.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like
like
that.
anybody can rock this. Anybody can rock it, you know.
And there are people out here who have really great brows. I'm not one of them, but those glasses would work really well with a nice, if you had a nice brow line. So
And that's a really big if because I don't. But you know what? We're just doing the best we can out here. So yes, this is a nice tapered square clear with ombre color arms.
nice, nice.
Number 2.
Yep. Number two. So for my number two, I'm thinking again, we talked about the different colors in the sky, and I love a good sunrise. I also love a good sunset. I love a good sunset.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. That's all I know of the song. I don't even remember which movie that was from. Play?
It's from Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Fiddler on the Roof.
So in this next pair, I love that. I love it's giving sunrise. And so I've chosen this pair here because
Ooh.
I was flying home recently from St. Vincent. I looked out at the night sky. The sun was going down, and I saw every one of these colors. And I love how the arms have that little divot, and the orange continues here. The brightness continues here. So you have a party happening behind your ears. And I love that.
Nice. Also ombre.
Also ombre. Because the sky isn't one color. The sky is all you can at any time, if you lay on your back in the grass in the backyard and look up at the sky and watch the sun go down, you will see all of this fabulousness. It's fabulous. Kind of looks at my matches with my rainbow here.
Right. I mean, it does and it doesn't. Like, I never even really noticed the purple in your shirt, but now the glasses is pulling up the purple.
Pulling it. It's pulling this.
Yeah.
Exactly. That dusty rose. I love this.
Very nice.
Aren't
And I
these
like the shape. It's like both a brow line and a squared kind of cat eye too.
absolutely. So these are fun. And like I said, I love that party happening behind my ear.
The party happening behind your ear. Do you have a DJ behind your ear too? A bar, maybe?
You'll never know.
No, I won't.
You'll
I
never
will
know.
not know. All right. Well, my pair number 3 is a similar shape to the one that I just showed you. It's the tapered square, but this one is kind of a combination of that, the clear one, and the one that I have on, which is that it represents the night sky. So this is a
Ooh,
black with silver glitter at the top and bottom. Again, very neutral.
I
It's
like that.
right, black at the sides. So this is like you want to do a little bit more, but just not do too much. Like something that people have to lean in a little bit, like to say, is that glitter? Is that shimmer? They've got to get a little closer. Don't be shy. And what I like about these two is that they are very
Oh, I like those.
close fitting.
Yes.
They're very
And I
close.
like it's like a galaxy happening on your face. It's
Yes.
giving Clark Kent.
Clark Kent. I just don't think that's what I was going for.
Okay, but
So that's what I have. I'm pre-Superman. That's what I'm doing. But yes,
yes.
I like these because it's like take me seriously, but at the same time, not too seriously because I have this kind of glitter going on. But it's a very snug fit. So for this, you have to have a really slender face. And that works for me because I find a lot of times you have glasses that don't fit comfortably. They're too wide. They don't hold your face. And then when you lean forward, they slide. I hate that. These, if you have a slender face, these really will hold your face very comfortably.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah, I
Okay.
like those.
Number 3, the night sky.
Number 3. So, number 3 for me, I'm saying, we talked a lot about the moon moving. The sun, she's there. And we can't forget that. The sun is there. She's there. And so with this pair of glasses, we're trying to tamper her down. And she's like, no, no, I will not.
I'm
Baby,
dying to
you will
see
not put
what
baby in the
this
corner.
is.
So Tortoise is like, oh no, no, no. Calm down, son. And son is like, no, no, no. You will not put me in the corner.
Will not put sun in the corner.
Tortoise tried to come at her. He was like, we're coming in, we're eclipsing you. And she was like, no, I
No.
will not be eclipsed. I shall not.
I I like the interpretation. That is hilarious.
So this is my son. She's there.
So the sun
And
is pushing back against
yes.
the eclipse of the tortoise.
And then she's like, yeah, and stars can have a little part of the show. So there's a little diamante detail happening
Oh,
here.
look at that. Okay.
Little stars here. And again, a little sunshine party happening behind my ear.
Yeah, yes.
So this is the sun taking no for an answer, not taking no for an answer.
Right. Those
Yeah,
are good. They're like tortoise plus, the tortoise is like trying to be serious and the sun is like, I am so unserious right now.
that's right. These are like amazing summer glasses. Like they're amazing. Actually, they're amazing for any season because they're there. It's like you're serious, and then boom, it's like sun is like, I'm still here.
Yeah. I
I'm
would wear those in the winter so that I had something to look forward to in the
yeah,
summer. It reminds me that summer is still out there waiting for me somewhere. It will come.
absolutely. So this, and I love how this comes down. Like this cut reminds me of glasses in the 80s where you had that little extra divot that came in. So this is my number three.
Here comes the sun. Do 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 do. Like if those glasses had a theme song.
That's
All right.
right.
Well, number four for me, also about the sun, because we have not talked about the sun as yet. We talked about the combination purple, and silver night sky. We talked about the clarity of the sky, and then we talked about the glitter black of the night sky. But we do need to talk about the sun. So this pair of glasses that I've chosen is a bold, bright yellow orange aviator that would make a great pair of sunglasses. Like this is all sun, all in your face all day long. And this is them.
Boom.
Yes.
Love that.
This is a great lightweight pair with a bold black hair at the side. So think black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. And also very unisex, like guys can rock this, ladies can rock this, gender nonconforming can rock this. Anybody who wants to rock this can rock this. And we also have it available in a dusty green gray, but
Mm.
yellow is the way. So this is the sun.
Ooh, those are nice. I like those. I know those are close fit. Those seem like a close fit too, are they?
They're not as close as the black ones, but they're comfortable. They're very comfortable. So they're wider, but they still have a fairly decent hold. And what I find interesting is that I don't know if you noticed, but the arms are rounded, not
Mm.
flat. I was like, what's the deal with these rounded arms? But they slip behind your ears just like
Like
two
butter.
drinking straws. Like it's so comfortable. This rounded arm technology, it needs to be replicated because it's so smooth and comfortable. It just slides
Nice. And they
like a
look good
hydraulic
on.
ride. Yes,
They
I
look
like
good
this.
on. I like
Yes,
that.
that's number four.
All right. So for my number four, when I think about the moon, sort of the emojis that I see when I think about the moon, I always see this sort of like, half and half. It's a play on
Okay,
the dualities. And so
duality.
for my next pair, I'm thinking about the duality of the moon. And, so this is my pair for that. So there
Okay.
you got it. You have the moon with the white contrast, and then boom. Ooh,
Ha.
you see that
Okay.
there?
Yes.
Right? You see that there? There's an artist that does this sort of work. And I'm telling you, I'm running my fingers over this. It's literally as though they did cutouts, and took the cut pieces
And
and
put them on the front.
put them on the front here. It is an intricate piece of work. It is beautifully done. These are three-dimensional, so they pop off. They're not flat. So you're feeling that texture. And these look like, to me, less like galaxy rocks. They're just
Yeah, moon rocks. That's just what I was
rock.
thinking.
Yep. So this is that pair for me. I absolutely love these.
Yeah, those look like fun.
They're
They look
fun.
like fun.
And the sides, again, it's like you have black hair, you turn to the side, you've got that pop. For me, with my gray hair, the white is pulling that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like
I like,
there's a lot of layers happening with the glasses. It's like white on black, and then you turn to the side and you've got black on white. Like everything is happening. It just looks like it looks fun. I like those.
so I love this pair. I almost don't want to take them off, but I can't see.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, there's that part. So that's my pair for it. So should we do a quick run through?
Quick run through, and then we can finish up with the events of the next
We
week.
technically have 1 minute, but we'll go over for a little couple minutes. All right.
Okay.
So
Number one.
number one for me clear, and cat eye.
Cat eye, different tones. Number 2.
Number 2.
Clear ombre.
And
Ombre for
all
you too.
right, ombre.
Ombre.
Here, number 3.
Night sky with the glitter.
That's right. And the sunrise which will not be tamed.
Yes, the sun fights back. And number 4. Black and yellow, black and yellow.
And the moon and her opposites. Yay.
Yay.
So, just a quick run through of what we have coming up tomorrow. Please join NOJ at the pop up shop.
Yes,
Go
the
ahead.
Cups and Glasses pop-up shop. Remember, it is tomorrow, Wednesday, April the 10th in Scarborough, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're at the corner of Brimley and Shepherd, the northwest corner, 2642. Did I say Brimley and Shepherd? No, Brimley and Eglinton, 2642 Eglinton Avenue East, Brimley and Eglinton, northwest corner, suite 104, upstairs at Kumon, beside the Dollar Tree. Get first dibs on our newest frames tomorrow, 6 to 9 p.m.
Yay. And on Sunday, join me at my house. An easy sit down, come through, see glasses, have a little snack, have a little laughter, reconnect. I long to see you, and it's been a minute. So just message me, DM me either at Keija Gray on Instagram or Facebook. And if you live in the Metro Detroit area and you want to just come by and hang out and see some frames and pick something up that you want to treat yourself to, because that's important. And we would love to see you. So see you then. And with that, here's to another good episode. We didn't even drink anything. I have nothing to drink.
That's you. Me, I've been sipping because it's all about cups and glasses. So I'm having a nice small serving of honey jack, courtesy of the duty free in Buffalo, Niagara Falls, Buffalo. The duty
All
free.
right. Well, have a sip for both of us. And
so
everyone else, enjoy your night. Don't forget to take in the wonders. Like, we may not have an eclipse every time, but guess what? When you wake up tomorrow and you see a little ant crawling across your front porch, just know and he's got a piece of bread on his back, just know that's a miracle too.
Yeah, and don't let anybody commodify your experiences. The sky is always there for us to enjoy it. The night sky, the moon, the sun, the stars, the trees, the air, the world is always there for us to appreciate. Even more so when you can see it properly. So don't forget, if you need glasses, make sure that you get glasses so that you can have the support to see what you need to see, right down to the ant with the crumb, and look good doing it.
That's right. Well, enjoy your night, everyone. Take care and see you next week. Peace.